la tierra de la belleza, la gracia y la naturaleza. This is the island of beauty, grace, and nature. God bless Puerto Rico and its beautiful people, today and always. Well, guys, the best prayer I know is to be grateful. So I think I'm just going to start there. Thank you, Neil, Jaboi Productions, where is also my friend Frank from Celeris Capital. Thank you so much for the sponsorship and for the invite and for the direct access to all these wonderful game changers. We certainly need you. I am here because I wanted to meet you all, but I also want to take a minute to thank our sponsors and also our staff for making this wonderful conference possible. Thank you all for being here and for allowing me to share for a minute my heart and my thoughts. This topic is a very important topic. When they told me I would be speaking to a room full of bankers, family offices, registered investment advisors, I was super excited. These are game changers, right? Are there any lawyers? All right, at least one more over here. Accountants? All right, now we're talking, because today, we, in this space, in this precise moment, we together are going to change general accounting principles, hopefully forever. But for a minute, please oblige me. Oblige me with this fantasy. Or is it fantasy? Life is what we make of it. Imagine that the world is a company, it's a government, or a family-owned organization that we are all shareholders of. And this company will be run by very privileged, super smart people like each and every one of you. We get to run it as trustees, custodians of these natural assets. Let's not say the assets of this family are all the fish in the ocean, are all the air that we breathe, the clean waters running in the rivers and the lakes, the majestic mountains, forests, and minerals. And let us compare it to a very ultra-high net worth family. Just say a super whale sitting on evergreen generational wealth from many generations back, that original produced it and passed it on, a generational wealth for generations to come. There's only one small caveat. As long as it multiplies and regenerates, it will bear fruits for its beneficiaries. We will call this company, for lack of a better word, Planet Earth. Bear with me for a second. As a family office, within all your superpowers as financial consultants, managing individual sovereignty of private capital, sometimes even larger than small countries. Do you think we're doing a good job as administrators of this company? Its assets, are they regenerating, depleting, or even endangering present generations? In my very humble opinion, someone has to be fired here, because this incredibly wealthy enterprise, self-regenerating by nature on a daily basis, is now collapsing, almost to the point of no return. Is the right to breathe clean air, have abundant clean water, a healthy planet, is it not a human right? I'm just asking. Guys, all the men and women in power of this company, all present generations included, are depleting its resources, polluting the waters, warming it, yes, this third rock from the sun to the point of melting the ice caps and opening the door to the sixth largest mass extinction event in history. During each previous extinction event, between 50 to 95% of the planet's life was lost, resulting in dramatically changed biotic characteristics. Generally, 10 million years pass before biodiversity reaches pre-event levels. 10 million years, guys. By the way, my friends, this is the need why we want to change general accounting principles into natural capital accounting. It makes sense? It's urgent and it's unavoidable. Understanding that the assets the planet has to offer, its ecosystem services, are the most valuable commodity in our time, not only for present generations, but to fulfill a legal generational mandate to preserve and multiply for the benefit of all as commons of this, our only home, the blue planet Earth. We are all shaping the world with every action and inaction that we make on a daily basis. Some actions have more impact than others because of the investment capabilities it deploys through public or private investment. The impact can be of global transcendence. How can we create a sustainable economy? A living example that I'm going to give you today is called the Earth Dollar. In addition to deriving its value from the sponsorship of the assets, natural capital accounting and the assets and manufactured assets, simply using the Earth Dollar, also assures the assets are safeguarded for the future. You, of course, may ask, how is this achieved? This is achieved by using an alternative economic model. It's called the living economic system, which is a decentralized economic system created using smart contracts and decentralized application on the blockchain. The Earth Dollar is using the natural capital accounting system and hundreds of peer-reviewed studies as guidelines for evaluating these assets. The Earth Dollar's real value is secured against real assets. It's an asset-backed guarantee. It's like Bretton Woods, but without the Bretons. The assets will be placed in a global commons held in a trust and safeguarded indefinitely for the benefit of planet Earth and all the life it supports, including all of us, our children, and our children's children. Global commons is a term and a concept typically used to describe international, supranational, and global resources domain in which common pool resources are found. Global commons include the Earth's shared natural resources, such as the high seas, for example, the atmosphere, and outer space. You might believe also cyberspace may also meet the definition of global commons. These assets can then be broken down into smaller units to be represented by smart asset tokens and traded on a smart asset exchange, representing real assets with intrinsic value that back the Earth Sovereign Wealth Fund, which in turn backs the Earth Dollar. For example, programs that reverse and regenerate desertification, clean water sources, or replant forests, the value of the land and assets associated with it. The system theorist Buckminster Fuller put it simply, you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. What is natural capital accounting system, you may be asking yourself? Natural capital accounting system is the process of calculating the total stocks and flows of natural resources and services in a given ecosystem or a region. Basically, makes the invisible values visible. It acts as an accounting tool that can help measure the full extent of a country's natural assets, produce infrastructure, social, and human natural resources. It's a sum. And give perspective on the link between the economy, ecology, humanity, and our environment. This methodology of measuring wealth is natural capital. It includes regulating ecosystem services like forests for sediment control, like wetlands for reducing the impact of floods and other natural resources. The natural capital accounting is expected to become the accounting system to be used around the world by 2030 as a means of fulfilling the enhanced sustainable development goals. Please, if you're interested, look at natural capital accounting, sustainable development goals. It's a policy paper briefing by WAVES, which is the World Bank, and it was prepared by Camille Ban. So just Google it, please. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking or mindset that created it. And this was said by Albert Einstein. I think we may pay some attention to that. The Earth dollar is also designed to be anti-inflationary, which means it incorporates a mechanism to ensure that the Earth dollar buying power remains constant, creating the world's first artificial intelligence controlled anti-inflationary mechanism and currency. Coins held in reserve that are linked to this artificial intelligence are used to automatically maintain the buying power of the anti-inflationary mechanism. The whole process is fully transparent and is self-evident. In the private arena, family offices are enabling a positive impact, encouraging intergenerational communication and education, empowering women, driving forward sustainable and impact investment through ultra-high net worth wealth management. The emergence of a new economic, decentralized, natural asset-backed security is waiting to be harnessed and preserved, and your attention is crucial to accelerate its adoption. The more interested family offices, registered brokers, financial advisors, lawyers, and accountants invested into real impact economy by funding more green projects in what I like to call the conversion era. Some call it the reset and restart button. Converting fossil fuel extraction economy into a self-sustained one. Is that too much to ask? To be able to thrive and not to have to survive? Because the technology is available for a long-lasting, sustainable, regenerative economy. If we can see the value added, the returns also become self-sustainable. We must debunk the wrong concept that family offices are only built to evade taxes, right? The idea of leaving behind a long-standing positive legacy in the concept of a single family office, to me, I may be wrong, but let's imagine for a second millennials taking their rightful place on these boards of trustees, building the empire of the many for present and future generations to come. I see it. Can you see it? Can you see it? I hope you do. Later, please ask me how you can be part of the first sustainable hemp bonds issuance for $1.8 billion backed by the Earth dollar. Do you guys remember the bill of rights for future generations? 9 million people have already signed the petition for a Bill of Rights for future generations. It was launched by Captain Jacques Cousteau in the early 90s. This campaign's objective was that a formal resolution inscribed the first article of this Bill of Rights for international law. Future generations have a right to an uncontaminated and undamaged earth, and to its enjoyment as the ground of human history, of culture, and of the social bonds that make each generation an individual member of one human family. The power of oneness. Is this the creation of a human family office? What? I hope it is. Wealth management through family office is passed generation to generation. Our planet, it is also inherited generation to generation. And our common responsibility is to make sure the planet is inherited without irreversible damages, serving the same objective as family office do, as custodians of the global commons. New generations, as custodians of family wealth, are driving investment towards the transcendence path of planet, people, and profit. Through sustainable and impact investments and returns. We, as present generations, are also custodians of the planet and its resources for present and future generations. Long-time family wealth with a forward transcendental view is a great way to connect yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And in my book, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that's smart, regenerative finance for future generations as well. Thank you so much for your attention. I appreciate it.